We're finally able to break through that pressure, and you saw the play developing. I was curious what was going through your mind and what you thought as soon as you saw Silva take the shot.
I mean, the play developed relatively quick. It was pretty broken, if I remember correctly. The ball ended up, Danny made a tackle, the ball bounced him, and he was unselfish, made the pass to his teammate. Shunde touched and finished, so it was, for me, unselfish in terms of the transition moment to give to your teammate that's open, and he had one chance and he put it away, so he was really clinical. And that's what we've been talking about, of like, you might only get a few, and you have to be really clinical. So, I mean, the way it goes down is just wild. I guess that's our story this year, or maybe every year. I don't know. We make things interesting, don't we?
Rob, I mean, I wouldn't say Atlanta United were necessarily sharp, but the game was sort of, that's how it played out. It was a game that was really tight. What do you think were the main advantages for Atlanta United tonight? Miami never really looked comfortable on the pitch anyway. What did you guys see beforehand and during the match that you knew that you could potentially get a result tonight?
Yeah, I mean, we were really intentional about how we did the week in terms of breaking down video of, obviously, some mistakes we made in the last game. Fatigue was a big factor, so rest obviously helps that, but it's not the only thing. So we looked at their patterns of play of what they do with, especially with the big guys. I did think we were a little bit, especially in the first half, sloppy and basic stuff, just connecting simple passes. So maybe that's a little bit of nerves or getting used to the pitch again. But I don't know. Just if I had to look at it really right now, like, just you had to win the game. So anything you got to do to win the game. We did talk, obviously, tactics. That's important and all the things, but ultimately at the end, it's having that belief and playing with intensity. And I feel like they showed it. They never gave up.
Rob, congratulations for the win. Is this the way you imagine the game? Scoring in the last minute of the game and making it through and making one more game?
No. You just don't know what the games are going to be, right? Like, we've got so much respect for, obviously, the level of player that they have, the level of coach that they have. Tata's a fantastic coach, and so that the respect is through the roof for them, and they're so dangerous. So you just never know what kind of game you're going to get in terms of where their quality is going to come from and what you really have to shut down, because they can hurt you in different ways. So ultimately, as the game started to play out, I thought in what we could control, we did a pretty good job. We were composed. The goal happens, and then from there, like, they rebounded really well at halftime. So I know it's not the way I thought it would go, but I wouldn't take it any other way.
Coach, do me a favor. Sum up Derek Williams' entire game today, both sides. It felt like he was high quality on both sides.
Yeah, he's just I think I've said this before. He's a quiet leader. So one, he leads by example, and then he's not the one that you always see shouting and screaming, but he organizes people. He's just composed. He's been very, very consistent. He's taking care of his body to keep himself healthy and on the pitch, and that's a really good thing for us. He's just an all-around good teammate. Well, from what I see, he's a great teammate, and he's a pleasure to coach.
Hey, Coach, I actually wanted to ask about the rest of the defense, about the discipline y'all had, about not dropping so far back and letting Miami overwhelm you, but the bravery to hold the lines and take out cutback crosses and just be brave in those moments.
Yeah, like I said, we were really intentional about what we did this week with video, and in terms of, obviously, we changed the shape, and there's been players that are playing now that haven't played as many minutes as probably they would have liked, and when their name was called, they were great in what they did. You got to repeat that. They are very intentional about what they do. They don't have to look at each other. They know where they're going to be, so we did a decent job of trying to contain that. The scoreline maybe tells us that, but it's not as comfortable sitting on the sideline watching it.
Hey, Rob. How you doing?
Good, are you?
I wonder, considering, earlier this season or late in the season, I think there was like a 4% chance for you guys to get into the playoffs. You get in, you get to this point, you have Miami and Messi, one loss from elimination. You hear the crowd tonight. How much are you guys kind of embracing this idea of, nothing to lose and maybe playing the spoiler, being the underdog and taking out Messi potentially?
Yeah, I don't want to put the cart before the horse, because the job's not done, right? But yeah, we've had that mentality for a long time. It's something that I feel maybe we were warranted to have those percentages and the probabilities, but I just have a belief that people can change that. The numbers, they help you to whatever, find predictions and maybe help Vegas in terms of their gambling odds and things like that. But the people end up changing that quickly. So I don't know. It's been a mentality that we've tried to adopt and kind of keep pushing forward. Like I said, the job's not done, but I'm really proud of what they've shown.
Yeah, Rob, what did you see happen on Miami's first goal? What did Brad tell you happened? And I'm curious what the referees may have explained.
Yeah, I mean, no explanation from referees. From my angle, it looked like Redondo started to step into his direction. I didn't see any contact, and I think that I have not had a conversation with Brad about it. That wasn't a significant thing to speak about with him. So yeah, that's all I got to it, really, to be honest. I don't. If he didn't touch him, then probably not. I think that's the rule, if I understand it correctly.
Coach, congratulations. In the first game, you replaced Miranchuk in the halftime. Today, he played the whole game and gave the assist for the second goal. How big is his role in today's win and in making playoffs in general? Are you satisfied with his performance?
Yeah, he last week in Miami, he had put in obviously a ton of minutes, and I felt like he was dying off, and so that was the substitution, and that was the conversation after when we had the following days. That yeah, he felt like he had it mentally, but physically just couldn't get himself to really move around. So there was a lot of fatigue in that with a lot of guys, but he was one that in particular was carrying a bigger workload. And then tonight, I thought he did a decent job of finding some spaces, being able to pick passes out. Yeah, he's big for the team, but ultimately, what I've said to these guys, and this is nothing to take away from Alexi, that we got to do this together. Like DP, young, homegrown, it doesn't matter. We're gonna if we're gonna do anything, we're gonna do it together. It's not gonna be just Brad Guzan. It's not gonna be a Johnny Fortune or a Luis Abram or whoever else might show up next week to be a key contributor. So this is a team effort, and that's what we've been preaching. It's the way I was raised, that teams win it, not individuals.
Coach Danilo Linares, Conexión Deportiva. I don't know if you remember a couple of weeks ago, I asked you if this team can do better. So it did better, right? Congratulations for the big win tonight.
Thanks.
So what would you expect from now on?
Better. No, I mean, like I feel like there's so much more in them. I think I said this early on when we had some somewhat positive results when I first took over, that I feel like personally I could do more to help them, that we can get more out of them. I think they have another level to them, and whether we showed that or not consistently throughout the regular season, debatable. I think there has been improvement. At this time with MLS, like, you have to peak at the right time. But like I said to Paul there earlier, like, I don't want to put the cart before the horse. The job's not done. Like, we got to go to Miami, and we got to really put a team performance together to try to pull the upset off.
You've been with the club for a long time, and you hear the fans outside still chanting. What does this mean to you personally, being the one in charge for the playoff game here at home?
Yeah, it was everything I dreamed that it would be. Like, when that crowd gets going, there's nothing like it. I can remember being in here for the first time and watching Miguel and Joseph break out in transition. The crowd gets crazy. It's so loud. And after we scored the goal and they're walking back to the half line, I was trying to recompose myself and also make sure that we were solid again for another minute, but it felt like I remember it. I'm grateful for the people that showed up. It was an unbelievable moment, to be honest. I talked to these guys about just memories. Like, it's about creating. For me, that's the just cause. It's about creating memories. Winning's important, but we had a really cool memory in Miami. I thought the grit and the resilience they showed was awesome. And then to come home and show that resilience, show that intensity, I'm sure they did as well. I had a ton of family here, and that was a really cool moment. My son is now cheering for us, which is a positive. So I'm happy for that.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you, guys.